Welcome back to AI Global Explorer and welcome back again, explorers. Today we're diving into an intense prediction, AI's top 10 most dangerous countries in 2025. Buckle up, because you won't believe what our data says, especially at number 1. Our world, as we know, is a tapestry of diverse cultures, breathtaking landscapes, and unfortunately pockets of unrest. It is within these pockets that we venture today, guided by the cold, calculating eye of artificial intelligence to anticipate those areas most likely to experience turmoil and strife. These predictions, my friends, are not mere speculation. They are derived from the meticulous analysis of vast data sets, encompassing political history, social trends, economic indicators, and yes, even climate change projections. Prepare to be amazed, to be saddened, but above all, to be informed. Kicking off our list at number 10, deep within the heart of Africa, we have the Central African Republic, a landlocked nation. Its borders are porous, allowing the currents of conflict to flow as freely as its once mighty rivers. Despite its rich tapestry of cultures and a natural bounty that could sustain generations, the Central African Republic is ensnared in a web of armed conflict and political instability. For decades, this nation has been a pawn in a geopolitical chess game, its people caught in the crossfire of power struggles between government forces, rebel groups, and opportunistic warlords. The roots of this conflict are tangled, a toxic blend of poverty, ethnic tensions, and the insatiable hunger for resources, particularly diamonds. Villages lie abandoned, their inhabitants scattered by the winds of war, forced to seek refuge in makeshift camps where disease and hunger are constant companions. The Central African Republic stands as a stark reminder that peace is a fragile flower, easily trampled under the boots of greed and ambition. From the heart of Africa, we journey north to the sun-scorched shores of the Mediterranean Sea, to a land where the echoes of revolution still reverberate through the desolate ruins of ancient civilizations. This is Libya, a nation grappling with the ghosts of revolutions past. Once a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of popular uprisings against tyranny, Libya today finds itself mired in a quagmire of chaos and violence. The fall of Muammar Gaddafi, hailed by many as a new dawn for this oil-rich nation, instead ushered in an era of uncertainty and strife. Rival militias, fueled by tribal allegiances, ideological differences, and the lure of Libya's vast oil wealth, have carved up the country into a patchwork of fiefdoms where might often makes right. Yet, even amidst the chaos, glimmers of hope persist. Ordinary Libyans, weary of war and longing for a return to normalcy, continue to strive for a better future. Our journey through the world's most troubled regions now takes us to the Horn of Africa, a land of rugged beauty and unforgiving landscapes. Here, on the sun-drenched shores of the Indian Ocean, we encounter Somalia, a nation synonymous with piracy, famine, and seemingly intractable conflict. For decades, Somalia has been buffeted by a perfect storm of challenges, a toxic cocktail of political instability, clan-based violence, and the rise of extremist groups like Al-Shabaab. The very notion of a centralized government has been eroded by years of conflict, leaving a void readily filled by warlords, opportunists, and those who prey on the weak. But Somalia is more than just a collection of headlines about violence and despair. It is a land of resilient people, fiercely proud of their heritage and determined to rebuild their lives. The road to recovery will be long and fraught with challenges, but the people of Somalia have proven time and again their capacity for resilience and their unwavering hope for a brighter future. Our exploration of global hotspots now takes us to a landlocked nation in East Central Africa, a place where the euphoria of independence has given way to the bitter reality of internal strife. This is South Sudan, the world's youngest nation, born amidst a wave of optimism that has since waned under the weight of unfulfilled promises and the crushing burden of conflict. Despite its vast oil reserves, a potential source of wealth and development, South Sudan remains mired in poverty, its people struggling to survive in a land plagued by violence, corruption, and a chronic lack of basic services. Ethnic tensions, simmering beneath the surface for decades, have erupted into open warfare, pitting neighbor against neighbor in a brutal cycle of revenge and retribution. Millions have been displaced from their homes, forced to flee to neighboring countries or seek refuge in overcrowded and undersupplied displacement camps. Yet even amidst this seemingly hopeless situation, glimmers of hope persist. Religious leaders, traditional elders, and civil society organizations are working tirelessly to mediate peace talks. Our journey through the world's most troubled regions now takes us back to Sudan, a nation grappling with the aftershocks of a revolution interrupted, a land where the promise of a brighter future has been overshadowed by the dark clouds of renewed conflict. In 2019, a wave of popular protests, fueled by years of economic hardship and political repression, swept across the nation, forcing al-Bashir from power and raising hopes for a more democratic and prosperous future. However, the transition to democracy has proven to be a treacherous path, fraught with peril and uncertainty. The military, once the backbone of al-Bashir's oppressive regime, has been reluctant to relinquish its grip on power, viewing itself as the guarantor of stability in a nation teetering on the brink. The fragile peace that followed al-Bashir's ouster has been shattered by renewed conflict in the Darfur region, where decades of violence and displacement have left deep scars on the social fabric. The humanitarian situation in Sudan is dire, with millions in need of assistance. The combined effects of conflict, economic crisis, and climate change have led to widespread food insecurity, malnutrition, and displacement. We venture now to the southern tip of the Arabian Peninsula, to a land of ancient civilizations and breathtaking landscapes, a land that has been ravaged by years of relentless conflict, its people pushed to the brink of survival. This is Yemen, a nation on the precipice, a stark reminder of the devastating human cost of war and indifference. A brutal civil war, ignited in 2014, has ripped the country apart, transforming this once proud nation into a byword for suffering and despair. At the heart of this conflict lies a complex web of political rivalries, sectarian tensions, and regional power struggles, with Iran and Saudi Arabia vying for influence in this strategically important corner of the Middle East. The Yemeni people, caught in the crossfire of this proxy war, have endured unimaginable suffering. Millions have been displaced from their homes, their lives upended by the relentless cycle of violence. The humanitarian crisis in Yemen is nothing short of catastrophic. Malnutrition rates are among the highest in the world, with children bearing the brunt of this man-made disaster. Clean water and sanitation are scarce, providing fertile ground for the spread of diseases like cholera, which has ripped through vulnerable populations with terrifying speed. Our journey through the world's most troubled regions now takes us to the heart of the Middle East, to a land where ancient civilizations once flourished, a land that has been torn apart by a decade of brutal conflict. This is Syria, a land scarred by war, its people enduring unimaginable suffering. What began in 2011 as a peaceful uprising against the authoritarian rule of Bashar al-Assad quickly descended into a brutal civil war, one that has engulfed the country and drawn in regional and global powers. The Syrian conflict is a complex and multifaceted tragedy, fueled by a toxic mix of sectarian tensions, political repression, foreign intervention, and the rise of extremist groups like ISIS. The Syrian people, caught in the crossfire of this multi-sided war, have endured unimaginable suffering. Millions have been displaced from their homes, forced to flee to neighboring countries or seek refuge in overcrowded and undersupplied camps. The humanitarian crisis in Syria is one of the worst in modern history. Millions are in desperate need of food, water, shelter, and medical care. Our exploration of global hotspots now takes us deep into the heart of Asia, to a landlocked nation defined by its rugged mountains, ancient cultures, and a history etched by conflict. This is Afghanistan, a land where empires have risen and fallen, where the echoes of past battles still linger in the air. The withdrawal of US-led forces in 2021 and the subsequent takeover by the Taliban have plunged Afghanistan into a new era of uncertainty. The Taliban, known for their strict interpretation of Islamic law and their brutal treatment of women and girls, have promised a more moderate rule this time around. However, skepticism abounds, both within Afghanistan and among the international community. The humanitarian situation in Afghanistan is dire, with millions facing acute food insecurity and the collapse of basic services. The country's economy, heavily reliant on foreign aid, has been teetering on the brink since the Taliban takeover. Yet, even amidst these daunting challenges, the Afghan people, known for their resilience and their unwavering spirit, continue to hope for a better future. Our journey through the world's most troubled regions now takes us to Eastern Europe, to a nation grappling with the devastating consequences of invasion, a nation fighting for its very survival. This is Ukraine, a land of fertile plains, grand cities, and a people determined to defend their homeland. The Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022 sent shockwaves across the globe, shattering the illusion of peace that had prevailed in Europe since the end of the Cold War. The images coming out of Ukraine are heart-wrenching. Cities under siege, civilians huddled in bomb shelters, and a mass exodus of refugees fleeing the violence. The international community has rallied in support of Ukraine, providing humanitarian aid, military assistance, and imposing crippling sanctions on Russia. However, the conflict shows no signs of abating, and the Ukrainian people continue to endure unimaginable suffering. Yet, even in the face of overwhelming odds, the Ukrainian people have demonstrated extraordinary courage and resilience. Ordinary citizens have taken up arms to defend their country, while volunteers work tirelessly to provide humanitarian assistance to those in need. Our journey through the world's most troubled regions culminates in the Horn of Africa, in a nation grappling with the devastating consequences of internal conflict, a land where ancient history and modern turmoil collide. This is Ethiopia, a land of contrasts, a land at a crossroads. A brutal civil war, raging in the Tigray region since 2020, has plunged the country into a humanitarian crisis of staggering proportions, threatening to unravel the very fabric of this proud nation. The conflict in Tigray is rooted in deep-seated political and historical grievances, fueled by ethnic tensions, a struggle for power and resources, and allegations of human rights abuses. The Ethiopian government, under Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, has been accused of waging a brutal campaign against the Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, with reports of widespread atrocities committed against civilians. The humanitarian toll of this conflict is nothing short of catastrophic. Millions have been displaced from their homes, seeking refuge in neighboring Sudan or in makeshift camps within Ethiopia. Yet, even amidst this darkness, there are glimmers of hope. Humanitarian organizations working tirelessly under extremely challenging conditions are providing life-saving assistance to those in need. There you have it. AI's top 10 predictions for the most dangerous countries in 2025. Whether it's the ongoing strife in Africa, the political battles in the Middle East, or the conflicts that ripple through Europe, these insights remind us just how dynamic and sometimes unpredictable our world can be. Remember, while these predictions are based on current data and trends, real-life situations can change rapidly. Stay informed, stay safe, and always check multiple sources before drawing conclusions. If you enjoyed this deep dive into global risks and want more AI-powered insights, then smash that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to AI Global Explorer for more thrilling adventures. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay curious and safe out there.